Hey guys, today we're going to be setting up React query. My name is DevChooks. So let's get started. All right. So the first thing we're going to start with is that we're going to go to our Google search. We're just going to search for React query and take the first one. And I'm going to go straight to installation. So one of the reasons why I use React query is that it does this caching. It does refetching very easily. All right. You can monitor the state of each call. Is it loading? Does it have an error? Is it still fetching? All of that, like, it's very easy to monitor. All right. So let's go straight to installation and let's get started with it. We're using Yarn, so I'm just going to copy this. All right. Stop the front end server, run this. All right. I'm also going to go scroll down and I'm going to copy the development as dev. It's recommended anyway. And it's kind of like ESLint, so it helps us catch when we are doing things that are wrong in this particular stuff. So I'm going to run this now. So if you go to package.json, all right, you see we have this in our dev dependencies, and we have this in our dependencies. All right, so let's get started and let's install this quickly. So the first thing we want to do is in our entry part of our app, let's put in our query client there, the provider. All right, so just copy all of that. Remember, we're on quick start now. I'm just going to be a little bit fast. Go to your underscore app.js, paste that there. All right, go back, just copy the head of this. Remember, I said every other stuff is coming into the Redux provider. Every other provider is coming into the Redux provider. So just copy that, put that at the end. All right. Next thing we want to do is get this query client. So it's right here. We don't have to start writing all of that code. Copy this, paste it after Montserrat. All right. And then please, in case you're wondering why my stuff is formatting automatically, you have to set up Prettier extension, right? That's what does that. All right. Now, I'm just going to copy all of this all the way up. We are done with this. So in my root folder, I'm going to create another folder called hooks. And inside the hooks folder, I'm going to create a folder called counter. And inside the counter folder, I'm going to create a file called counter. I don't know if I was typing coconut. Counter dot hook dot js. All right. I'm just going to paste all of that there. Now, I know that we're going to have a couple of errors, so just work with me. We're going to delete this. We're going to delete this. In the next video, we're going to set up our base URL, our API call, like the particular action that we're going to be taking in our use queries and all of that. Take this out. Take this out. Good. So now let's create our first hook. So I'm going to say const counter query. I'm going to be using an arrow function, which is still like every other function. I just love arrow functions. Ever since I learned arrow functions, I think I've always used it. And what we want to do is that we want to return this. All right, we want to return this. So we don't have this. get to dos. So we can just console.log something instead. So console.log this ran. All right. And I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to call it patch query or whatever. Just so you know, use query is for get, mutation is for patch, post, stuff like that. So copy this and put that here. But like I said, we don't have post to do. So we can just console.log something. So console.log that ran. All right. This ran, that ran. Now, this also needs query client here. So I'm just going to copy this and I'll put this in this function. That's where it's needed. And then I can take out every other thing. All right. So these are going to be our samples. We are going to come in to make reference from here while we're coding. All right. Now you can see that we have a couple of errors. The first one is use query is called in a function counter query that is neither a React function. It's not a React functional component nor custom React hook. React component names must start with uppercase letter. That's one. Two is that React hook names must start with the word use. So here we just have counter query, which is not going to work. So in order to tell React that this is a custom hook that we're creating, then we have to use the word use. So use counter query, and the error is gone. Same thing we're going to do down here. Use patch query, and I'm not going to lie. All right, I learned that not too long ago. All right, I thought that you just use the use as a convention. I didn't know that it was compulsory. Anyway, all right. Now, just to make sure that these guys are up and doing, we just export them directly. We don't have to go and start exporting them specially again. Just export them directly. All right. Let me see how much time I have left for this video. All right, I don't have really much time. But the next thing we're going to do is that in place of this console.log that we're having here and this, we're now going to be calling our endpoint. So in the next video, we're going to set up our endpoints from the backend call, from the back end to the front end, and then we're going to make our first call here. But just to see what this is like, let's go to our Taskbot parent, which is this screen, and then let's make our first call and just see to make sure that the query React query is working. So I'm going to say use counter query, put that, and of course I want to say const data like this is equal to that. All right. Now if I go back, of course that should run once this page is loaded or anything like that. So let's just, what's going on? What's going on? Any logs registering? Okay, let's just open the logs and see what's that, what that is. Get static parts, not a function. I don't even know what that is. Let's check. Right. Used anywhere. Okay. I don't know if it's from this. Okay, it's not from here. So let's just see if it's us, if this works. Okay, this works. So we can make that call from here instead and see. But in the next video, we're going to try to fix that issue. All right, this is on ID, and this is taxboard index. So let's just call it here. Let's just call it here. We just want to be sure that it works. Yeah, and if this breaks too, we know that okay, something is wrong with our this time. We just have to make this capital letters. All right. Export this. Yeah. All right. So is there anything I've not saved? Save this. Let me just say save our. I don't know if I'm missing anything though. All right. So you can see this ran. And yeah, so there's a bug we're having here. Just going to find out in the next video what is causing that error. So, but you can see our our hook is running. Every time this page loads, it runs. There are still some other parameters you can add, like when you want it to refetch. Should you refetch every time the screen loads and all of that, or refetch whenever it's invalidated, something like that. So that's all for this video. My name is DevChooks. See you in the next video. Bye guys.